Dear Diary, I'm back again today. Today I will be reviewing, my camera just moved. Today I will be reviewing a series of lily fragrances in my collection. I have been hunting down lily fragrances because I think that lily tends to make a fragrance more delicate. It kind of like, it acts kind of like a bleaching agent, if I were to put it that way, but it's not really, it doesn't have that bleach quality smell. It is very pure. It's like it acts like some purifying agent in a fragrance in my opinion. So lily, it is not as heavy, it is not as green, it is not as camphrous as tuberose, and at the same time it is not as indolic as jasmine. So that is why I like it. It has this, like I said, purifying quality to it, and this will just add to the whole delicacy and elegance of the fragrance, in my opinion, especially in a white floral fragrance. So the first lily fragrance that I want to talk about is the first, and actually, and also, I have a list of it, and this would be in the fifth place, fifth place of the lily fragrances, and it would be Issey Miyake L'Eau d'Issey Pure. So this fragrance, this has something to do with the concept of water. I believe that initially when the first Issey Miyake came out, the concept behind is to bring a scent to a water. If water has a scent, then what would it be? So it apparently is the scent of a lily. So in this Issey Miyake L'Eau d'Issey Pure, it's like a lily that has been, it smells like a lily which has been immersed in this water for a few days, and it's all totally soaked, and it has absorbed the water, making it very watery. And also there is some sharpness in this fragrance. It's not all soft and delicate lily. There is a sharp edge to it. There's some citrusiness that can be identified from this fragrance, but overall it's like a lily citrus fragrance with some water, like a soaked lily, a lily that has been soaked, and like when something's soaked and it becomes bigger, like since it has absorbed all the liquid. So it sort of feels like that to me. This is just an eau de toilette, so the longevity is not really as good, but it is a fresh scent. Like, I like to put this on after shower because it's just not overpowering, and it feels like, the scent, the moist of this water is still on the leaf, on the petal of the lily flower, and it kind of retains the freshness of coming out of a shower. So that would be my fifth place in the lily fragrance lineup. So Issey Miyake Pure, L'Eau d'Issey Pure. So the next one is actually quite high rating. It would be Modern Muse Eau de Parfum by Estée Lauder. It's one of my most favorite lily. It is really one of my most favorite because I have finished a few vials before I, finally decided to have it in my collection. Honestly speaking, this is my love at first sniff when I first smelled it a few years ago. When I first smelled it, I don't really get that much of a lily, to be honest. It's kind of like a musky florals, but the more I wear it, the more prominent the note of lily is dominant. It actually has a lot of notes in here. There are honeysuckles, there are jasmine, and there are of course lily, and there are some tuberose, but all of that heavy floral notes are just toned down and purified by this lily note. This is a very delicate lily, to be honest. I like to spray this one on, and although it is soft in character, but the sillage is quite good, like when you pass by, when I spray this in a room and I come back and I get out of the room and then I come back to the room again, I can still smell the scent trail, like something like a sillage of this Modern Muse Eau de Parfum. Although it is soft in characteristic, but the sillage is quite huge, I would say. And it's kind of like, and this is delicate in a way, it brings to my mind an image of a lily flower that just blooms in the early morning when the sun has just risen and the earth is still warming up. The air is still chilly and cold, and this smells like a haze of this fresh, pure airs in the surrounding, in the atmosphere, and together with the fresh chilly cold air, there's this haze of fragrance that lingers with a scent of lilies. So this brings to my mind a delicate dewy morning lily scent, and this scent just lingers like a haze. So it's very good, this one. So the third one in my collection is the classic lily fragrance. If you mention lily, it has to be on that list, and that would be Basil by Cartier. Basil means stolen kisses, and this is a very waxy lily as compared to modern Muse Eau de Parfum as a hazy, delicate lily in the air kind of thing. This is a waxy lily. This is a lily that says, hey, I am here, don't just ignore me, pay attention to me. So this is a very waxy lily, and together with the waxy lily, you sort of get that kind of sweetness, like not necessarily from the sugariness, not necessarily from the vanilla, but it just has that sweetness from this waxy lily. And sometimes I do get quite a touch of green, which makes it very enjoyable in the hot days. I actually really enjoy it because this green in this lily fragrance is just very enticing. I cannot believe that how a green lily fragrance can be done so, it's like it's sharp, but in the most delicate way. Yeah, it is sharp, but in the most delicate way. It can be a little bit, some people may not be able to accept this, I would say, but the more I wear it, the more I like the waxiness of it. You can really feel the waxiness in this scent. Like it really feels like there is some layer of this kind of like wax on it. Like I don't know how to explain. It's not as light as modern Muse. It's not as delicate as that. It has a little bit of bite. Like how a stolen kiss should be. Like your kiss has just been stolen. Yeah, there is some green, there is some bite, there is some waxiness, but the lily is predominant in this fragrance. And I have another Basil Volley, and it's the Eau de Parfum Fresh. I really like this also. This has more powderiness. If you are afraid of the waxiness of the sharp greenness from the original Basil Volley, I think Eau Fresh is the way to go for, because it is not as waxy. It's more like a hazy, also another hazy morning, but this time the hazy morning scenery is brought to really like a feel, like a feel in the morning. And like when you step on the grass in the early morning and the dew is still on the grass, and then you can almost feel, you can almost taste the greenness, the delicate greenness in the air carried by the breeze, and it smells like that. This is more toward this leans towards the green, soft, grassy note as compared to the lily, but when mixed together, it is very refreshing, and I really like it. It is not as fierce as the Basil Volley, but this is just as good. Another lily fragrance. So what tops my list of lily fragrance would be this old gem. Is it appropriate to say that it's old? This is classical. This is This is hauntingly beautiful, and this is Donna Karan Gold. I have never decanted this for anyone, and I used all of these myself. This would be quite a huge dent for me, as I have a lot of fragrances. So this is a lily with a bit of spiciness, like a bit of pepperiness with a bit of kick. And this lily, it has the softness of the modern Muse, but the modern Muse is like a haze, but this is like a enveloping. It's not a haze anymore. It's like an enveloping, some kind of velvet, a velvety enveloping lily together with some pepperiness, some spiciness. There is definitely some kick in this, and there is a little bit green, like not as grassy green as the Basil Voleo Fresh, but this is, whenever I smell this, it would be like a, like an alarm clock, like, just wakes all my senses up, wakes me up, really. So this is Tiger Lily. I think this is like the lily grown wild in the forest kind of scent. It has this deep mysteriousness of this amber. I remember there is some tiny bit of amber hint in it, I believe. But this brings to mind an image of wild lily, if there is ever wild lilies that grow in the forest, in the deep forest where the tiger lives. And yeah, it's like a more mature scent for sure. It's like a more spicy, more dangerous scent for sure. It's not as delicate. I would say that out of all of these lily fragrances, this would be the most ferocious. This would be the sexiest. So this is all from me. If you have any lily fragrances that you have tried, please comment down below and let me know. See you in the next one. Bye. Don't forget to click the subscribe button.